The dumbest quote I've ever heard is if there's not a seat at the table, make one. And why do I say this is dumb? Because in theory, this sounds awesome. This sounds great. Like, yeah, if there's no seat and nobody's giving you a seat, you should definitely be trying to make a seat at the table for yourself. You should be forcing your way in to that table to be able to be there because this table is really a circle of people that are doing big things and you want to be a part of the big things that they're doing in whatever industry that is going on that you're trying to get into. But why I say this is so stupid is because if you're forcing yourself in there, that's an awkward situation. Much like a intimate relationship, if you're trying to force that relationship, you may get a couple dates to start, but eventually it's going to fizzle out. It's going to become very awkward. And if you even had any kind of relationship before that, it's going to be gone because that person feels like the only way to get rid of you is to literally not have you in their life anymore. And it's the same thing with this table, as it said in the quote, where you're forcing your way in. You're bringing another seat to that table to be able to sit. Now, if you are invited to that table and there happens to not be an additional seat, that's a totally different situation. But when I look at this and when I've heard this in conferences, man, it sounds awesome. It sounds like, wow, that makes a lot of sense. If you want to be at that table, bring a chair. But in all reality, that's not how that works. The people that have those tables don't have a chair for you because you aren't ready. Not to say that you're not worthy, but you're not ready to be at their table yet. And this is something that I have started to live by. And this really hit me it was about April or May of 2021 when this hit me. And I've shared the story maybe a handful of times, but I started out in this group called the Arate Syndicate, an amazing mastermind that Andy Frisella and Ed Milet run. I was a part of that. I knew these people from this event or this mastermind, and we had met at the event one time back in 2019. So I guess it was 2018, 2019 when I joined there. But 2019, I went to this event. It was amazing. Got to see some of these people. And then roll around to 2021. I went to a different event under a guy named Ryan Stewman called $1 Million Mastermind, where he threw this event, and it was a great event. Nothing against him or anything when I say this, and nothing against any of those organizers or anybody that may know me and know what I'm talking about, and maybe they didn't allow me to be at their table. I'm not saying any of this. This is no ill will towards anybody. But the people that I met in 2019, fast forward to 2021, I saw them at the same tables, talking with the same people who were still beyond me in a business sense. And it just dawned on me. Well, I know these people. I've been on Zoom calls with them. I've had multiple chats with them. They've been on my podcast, perhaps. I've maybe been on theirs, depending on the person. And yet I wasn't invited to the table. That really hurt. And it really got me thinking, why was I not at that table? And rather than going into the victim mentality of, well, it's because they're jerks. They're mean. They don't like you. I realized it's because I hadn't done anything worthy enough to be at that table yet. So what did I need to do? And why do I not like this quote? Because it's saying that they have a table and you need to try and go get at their table. And that's the only way to create success. When in fact, I decided to flip this and say, if I'm not allowed at that table, if they don't invite me to that table, I'm going to create my own table. So I'm going to create my own table, my own opportunities, essentially, because that's what happens at this table. When you're breaking bread together, when you're around this table, you are talking about business, you're talking about opportunities. And so I decided to create my own table and my own opportunities after seeing that, after getting passed up. And this is probably the chip on my shoulder that I've had for years, where I've gotten passed up for so many things, for many various different reasons. And I decided, and I've really kind of made a personal vow to myself that one, I will create my own table at all times. And two, I will invite the people that I want to that table. And they may be the people that are doing very well in their industry, but they're also going to be people that are similar to me, that they're trying to get themselves up. And I'm going to elevate the people around me, which is really why I created my speaking business in the first place, because I realized that I myself can only do so much to create so much impact. I can only help so many people and create impact by helping those people. And if I could help people become better speakers, I saw how it changed my life. I saw the way when I speak to audiences, how it changes their lives. But I'm only one person. I only have my perspective of my life and my story. There's other people that have a different life experience. They have a different life perspective, and they can share that with the world and create an impact that I will never be able to create because of their background, because of who they are, because of their experience, because of their expertise. And that's why I really got into the public speaking coaching and helping people with their speeches. But more importantly than that, that is why I created this idea of building your own table. Because when you build your own table, you build your own opportunities. Rather than waiting on somebody to give you that opportunity, you take that opportunity for yourself. And the cool thing about this, as you create the opportunities for yourself, those opportunities, those tables that you wanted to be at in the first place, they come about. Those people at those tables that are above you, so to speak, that they are further along in business than you, they start seeing you taking risks. They start seeing you putting in the work. They see you from afar, and game recognizes game. And because you are creating your own table, not waiting to have a seat at that table or trying to force your way into that table by bringing your own chair with, oh, you're so clever. You're going to bring your own chair in a disguise that you can do it. You bought into the club. Game recognizes game. People recognize people that are really doing something, that are really there because they genuinely want to be there, or that they should be there because they put in the work, and those that just paid the entry fee just to get in the door. You'll be sniffed out. People will recognize that. And so if you're not there yet, where you're not at those tables you want to be at, this is an encouragement for you, because you'll see people that'll come in. They're going to wow everybody. People are going to get so excited. And I have seen this over the past, really probably decade, but for sure the last 4 to 5 years, where people will come in, they're flashy. They get at those tables that I've been wanting to get at, only to be gone within a year. So just because you're not there yet doesn't mean you can't get there. Doesn't mean you won't get there. But you have to create your own table in order to get there. You're not just going to get a hand up. You're not going to get handouts. You have to show that you're willing to put in the work, that you're willing to take the shirt off your back and do the things that are necessary, to take some of those lashings, to put in the brutal hours, whatever that looks like for you. The work's going to look different for everybody, but you have to be willing to show that you're going to do something, that you are going to take action. And when you start taking that action, whether you have huge wins or many small wins, those that have played the game, that get the game, that have excelled at the game, they're going to recognize that you're coming up. And guess what? When they start seeing that, all of a sudden, there's going to be a chair there at the table for you. But it all starts with you building your table. So stop trying to bring your own chair to the table. Stop trying to make your own seat at that table for those opportunities, and start building your own table. Because when you build your own table, you have the ultimate authority. People will recognize you more for that, for creating opportunities for yourself as well as for others. So build your own table instead of trying to get a seat at somebody else's.